What is going on, everybody? Antonius DaGamer here, once again joined by my two co-hosts, Super SSS Rank and Mykale Smith. We are the Press Start Select podcast. Fellas, how we doing tonight? How we doing tonight?
Oh,
Tired.
good.
Tired.
Good.
Tired.
Good and tired.
Adult life tired.
It's bruh. Mentally taxing days as most days tend to be.
Yeah, that's why I said, like, let's record Monday and just get it out the way because I foresee this is going to be a long week.
For sure. And we actually have a rare moment where there's not too many topics to talk about. So I'm like, let's, while the getting is good, before Tuesday morning hits and something else crazy happens. Speaking of, as before we started recording tonight, earlier today, there was an exclusive leak from the Microsoft camp. Apparently, they are partnering with a as unnamed partner to launch some version of an Xbox handheld console this year before the end of 2025. Now, fellas, what do you think about that as far as who do you think they're going to pick? What does it look like? Are we just looking for a PlayStation Portal with a couple extra more bells and whistles? What is the Xbox partner handheld look like?
ROG Ally,
Just an Xbox ROG Ally?
a newer one. A newer one to slightly say a pro version handheld of the Xbox Series X. That's the way I would market it, a pro version. And it'll be able to do XYZ and it'll integrate Steam so people can get their Steam accounts on. And then it'll be because of what it could do, it'll be at a price where people are like, you know what, I actually don't mind that. For what you can buy a Steam Deck for, and I'm thinking maybe ROG, unless they find somebody, unless they do one with Razer. But I think ROG Ally would probably be the best contender. They're the best next to the Steam Deck. I say it makes sense to do one with ROG. And then they go on from there. I think you can already see the partnership, and if they don't do it, it's kind of like, okay, maybe they did this because the other party was cheaper. But I don't see them having more than, well, I won't say that, but I could see that. To me, that's more plausible.
But what price point do you put it at?
I'd say probably 350, and if you want more, it'll go up from there.
350. That means
Yeah,
they're
three to
gonna have to
four.
sell at a loss.
If they choose to. If they wanted to, it'll probably start off at 450.
Because I think isn't the PlayStation Portal like what $300, something like that,
Well,
or 200?
but yeah, but it's straight what
It's basically
wireless is,
it's
yeah,
basically
it's
a
extreme.
what's it called not a it is a stream, but they have like a name for it. It's like it's the PS Share. It's the Tim. What's it called again? The because you could do it on your phone too. Technically,
Um,
it has like a name. There's like a they
something
call it
play.
something. Yeah, remote play. Remote
Yeah,
play.
remote play.
It's a
Yeah,
remote play device, and
yeah.
that's like
So
I think it's like 200. It might be 200
But
bucks.
that goes to show you that we rarely use that.
Yeah, I
That we
know.
like, bro, we can't
Yeah,
even remember the name.
yeah, no, not at
I was
all.
like,
yeah, I think well, okay, maybe they won't sell it at a loss, but at the same time, if they want to compete, you know, I would expect them to, because I kind of would expect that. They can't come with graphics that are like not good. They have to have something else
Right.
that's meat on it. So I would say four,
Because I imagine
four
like
to four
Xbox
to.
wants to win right now. Like like they want to kind of win back the good graces of people again. So I'm like, do you take the loss to maybe make up for it in software down the road right now, or like do you like, hey, I'm gonna hit you all over the head, and if you want it, you want it.
I think it's too late because that's not what we wanted from our system. We wanted our ecosystem. We didn't want certain things to be everywhere. And yeah, business wise, I want my money, Mr. Nutella. And and now he could, because someone like that is not like him and Steve, like him and a visionary like Steve Jobs will never probably have the same conversations. You know what I'm saying? So you can almost see where Steve is looking at, man, this guy's like a bot. This is not how you should do it.
Mm.
Um, Someone like that and that, someone you can tell where someone's very dogmatic in their thinking when it comes to certain things, because why do I need to change the formula? If 2 plus 2 equals 4, why do I care if anything else equals 6, or 8 or 9?
I
You know
mean,
what I'm saying?
it hasn't failed them yet. Like that's we said this before in previous pods, not about them specifically, about just companies in general. Of like, there's a lot to lose in complacency. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, I get Linux can't keep up. Yeah, I get iOS is doing its own thing, but that doesn't mean just coast.
Yeah,
Like,
and you have
So,
to understand, with the way technology's scaling up, someone who decides to say, yo, I had enough of these iOSs and Microsoft IBMs. Because of the way technology is, it's a lot faster for people to catch up now.
mhm.
You got one teenager, he just got nothing but time, and his dad so happens to have $100 at that time for him to buy this one chip on the market. And then boom, now he builds XYZ in his lab. Didn't it wasn't that how you guys started off as well?
Mhm.
You branched off from Xerox and IBM, and you think you're exempt? You were
I
gonna
agree.
say
Yeah.
something, Tim? Or I
Yeah.
didn't mean to cut you off, man.
no, I definitely go back to your point about like what people wanted was their ecosystem.
Mhm.
And that's why I kind of feel like the point, like, especially with the current shift in economics of the world, bringing out any new terms of hardware, it's like, for what? Like, for what? When you already have that ground covered, all you needed to do was devote to it. Like, make it feel like, make it special. Like, just like really, really make it special. Like,
Yep.
what is really special about this that you want me to choose you over the other guy?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And you already told us to choose the other guy. So
Yeah.
that
Literally.
message doesn't make me excited.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Hey, choose the other guy. Hey, if you don't want, hey, honey, if you don't want to be with me, go ahead and find whoever you like. You know what I'm saying?
Just as
Like,
long as you know where home is. Like, wait, what?
just as long, and like, you guys think your Xbox players are not people that your ex you you have to understand who your market is. Do like the people who buy an Xbox aren't these white blue collar. Well, I mean, yeah, they're blue collar, but they're not what you think, man. They're dealing with wrestlers, man.
I was
It's
gonna say,
90s
like,
wrestlers.
they're dealing with the fans of the Stone Cold Steve Austin era.
It's Stone Cold
Those are
Steve
Xbox
Austin era,
players.
Rock era, the Dundee Boys era, the Vince McMahon era. Like,
Hmm.
you're not dealing with wholesome what teenage me and Charlie on Degrassi or Nickelodeon, whatever, iCarly. Those aren't those aren't the people buying an Xbox.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They're just not. And now you're gonna tell us that, oh, okay, well, guys, guess what? We want you guys now, from going to playing football tackle with no gear to now putting extra cushioning pads, and now the floor is going to be made out of nice pillow uh memory foam, so nobody gets injured. Like, no, we you get
Well,
what I'm
that's what
saying?
I was gonna ask you guys. Do you think that maybe Xbox's new marketing plan is just to kind of win in terms of convenience, right? Of like, Game Pass makes things convenient. An Xbox handheld that has Steam that supports Game Pass as well will make things convenient.
I always, I guess maybe Jory could break this down. Okay, so in terms of, okay, and I would definitely say this in terms of video game sales, because we've seen it's the sales of these games that are hurting these companies, which leads to get fired.
Mm-hmm.
So now, all right, if you're a Game Pass subscriber and you get access to these games, what is the real deal with some of these developers? Like, hey, put it on Game Pass. Like, what is the win-win for them? Because if
So
this person has this one subscription, doesn't that impact the sales of what this company is supposed to gain or could
so
potentially gain? I say.
I think what happens is, for example, a game like Lies of P, there's guaranteed money, like being on Game Pass day one, guaranteed. And from then on, when it's on Game Pass, most likely the people who play it wind up buying it, and you get it cheaper also at the same time.
Mm.
So it kind of works the same way Steam does, but Steam doesn't let you try out your game. Steam just has crazy sales
No,
all
Steam
the
lets you try
time.
out your game. You could
Oh,
Steam.
yeah?
Steam has a 1 hour playtime return window.
Okay.
So you can play 59 minutes and be like, I don't like this, and get it for a refund.
Xbox also has that. So I returned what game I didn't like and I returned it the next day. I had it for 2 days and I returned it. Oh, so somebody bought me I had bought Resident Evil. Somebody gave me a code to buy purchase Resident Evil 4.
Which one? You gotta be specific.
I returned Resident Evil 4.
Oh, mhm.
Oh,
Yeah. I mean, just assume the latest one. So they bought me a code for Resident Evil 4. Somebody already bought me and gifted it. So I played it. I played a decent amount of hours, but it wasn't enough to where I couldn't return it. So I returned it and then I used that one. But with Game Pass, I think they give you an advance up front. And you still walk away with something, and at the same time, you do make most people wind up purchasing the rest of the game. Like I had Ninja Gaiden Black. I didn't purchase it because I didn't have the money. So let me pay for Game Pass, and then now I make the purchase.
Mm.
So that not only that, but it also lets it gives companies a keener eye to say, yo, they're still playing this game. Oh, maybe there's something there. Let's see. Let's put it on sale just in case to see what happens. And then people wind up buying it in season and out of season. So if there's like gradual continuation, kind of like how we grow subscribers continuously, there's movement. So they see that, say, hey, let's go ahead.
But do you think, and sorry to cut you off, but do you think like day one sales or immediate money coming in, especially where these, these board members' heads are now, it's like they're kind of like, like how when you do a post on Instagram and you're looking to see how many people like it back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that's where they are now. Like, okay, once this game drops this day, once we release it, how many people are just buying it?
Yeah,
and I feel like that's where we are. So that's why, in a sense, in terms of like the Game Pass ecosystem, that's what the thing that I was always confused about. So like, how is this really beneficial to this money hungry warlord?
Yeah, I was gonna say, hold on. I was just gonna say, like, I think that was the verbiage that they used with Dragon Age Veilguard, right? Like the EACO is like, oh, Dragon Age Veilguard engaged over 1 million people. It didn't sell over 1 million copies. It engaged over 1 million people. So that means at least over 1 million people access this game at some point, only for it to end up being free, essentially, on the PlayStation Store, like not even 4 months after the game release. So that also has been like, okay, like I get the publicity part of it. Like maybe it helps the word of mouth aspect, but like Tim was saying, like in these board members who want to see hard numbers, like it got engagement. Is that enough?
Yeah, because like I said, bro, every Sony sale, one particular game is always on sale, and that is Hogwarts Legacy.
Warner Brothers is like, please,
always on sale, even though it already sold so much. It's like, no, put it back. They say put it back because. And honestly, I think they're doing that because, especially with the news of, the HBO Max show coming around, that's the last particular heavy, hard hitter Harry Potter title that you have.
Yeah, and they keep teasing out that they're dropping a definitive edition at some point. So it's like, hey, if you want to get this game for cheap now's the time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I just think with Microsoft, with the Game Pass, that's the also budget friendly. That's the appeal, right? I'm a mother of 4. I don't feel I can't buy versions of the game for everybody. So why don't we just share the family pack, and then boom, everybody has access to it. So now you have guarantee. Hey, what I can pay this much? Da 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 da. Hey, mom, I really want to buy this game. Can I buy this game? And can I buy some skins? XYZ. Okay, boom. And they do it. They make their money off of. There's like various streams of income within that. With the companies, indie games profit. Indie games definitely profit from it, because the thing is now you can put it on Game Pass out of season. So it depends on the companies and how they decide to go with their strategy.
Okay.
Yeah, how they decide to negotiate. But like for indie games, that thing has helped indie games like quite a few times. On everything, because somebody might have it on they might have it on Game Pass, and then boom, on Steam and say, you know what, I love this game on Game Pass. Let me go ahead and buy it on Steam. So it helps. It kind of helps cross,
Yeah.
Even though it might not directly help Microsoft, it does still benefit them to have this level of strategy.
Yeah, I mean, you
So
can't. I don't think you can argue. You really can't argue the benefit for the consumer for one with Game Pass. Like that's almost it's unquestionable how beneficial it is for a consumer. It's just I think from the it's almost like the streaming era, right? Of like, well, if everyone's streaming this music and you're telling me that the artist gets like a penny of a penny of a penny, how are they making their money? You know, like that's how I look at these game companies of like if they have to hit a certain quota to turn a profit, how are they making their money? How many players do you have to engage for this company to keep the lights on?
well, I mean, I think with the video games is definitely a little different compared to the music industry. The music industry is
I mean, we
it's
find out
different.
day after day after day, it's not that much different. Unfortunately, all these entertainment fields seem to be crisscross
It's not
applesauce
different
in
because
terms of business
they
ties.
try to implement other they because they're trying to implement like there's no way you're gonna charge me $7 million to listen to the Mona Lisa painting versus me looking at it visually. They can try,
I'm about to say that
but you know what I'm
it
saying?
won't be for
They
lack of
could
effort.
definitely try. No, they could definitely try, but you like understand like does that work? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Does that work? That doesn't work. And so you forcing it, they're causing these things to collapse on themselves because you're trying to use a business model for music the same way you would the visual arts. It doesn't work.
I mean, the overall feeling that I have with Xbox and Microsoft right now is, is a quote that my dad always says, "We shall see," said the blind man.
Mm.
And that's exactly where they are.
Yeah, it doesn't seem. Again, like I've said before, I see the snippets of like, okay, I see what they're trying to build, but it doesn't seem clear. Like, it doesn't seem like this is a 5-step plan over the next 6 months. So like
Can
it
I
seems to
give you a
pivot.
simple answer? Can I give
Yeah.
you a simple answer? And we can look at this from how Phil talks.
Every time you mention this man name, I just like,
Yeah, I know. No, but I could tell you it just from how Phil talks is a lot of voices in those board meetings. And so
Too many
the
people with too
loudest
much
one,
input.
yeah, the loudest person gets to, so that Phil never seems consistent because he's not retorting his words anymore.
Mm.
You'll get Phil. When you get Phil, it's very straightforward answers. But when it's corporate,
When it's time to
it's
talk
well,
Xbox, it's yeah.
yeah, you know what I'm saying?
It gets very vague. It gets very like he
They said
answered, but I'm
everybody out.
still.
Phil, you stay. Everybody out. Phil, you stay. You stay. You stay. You're gonna make this work, right? I mean, guys, we're going back on our word. This is what we told the people already. It's already out there. I understand that. I understand that. But what are you gonna do about it? And there you go. Your episode of The Simpsons. What $1,000 bill? What $1,000 bill, Homer? You remember that episode when he
Yeah.
went to Cuba? Yeah, like what $1,000 bill.
Mm.
So that's all it is. It's just a lot of voices. Remember, we heard rumors of there being tension and between Xbox and Microsoft, and then
There's no more tension.
no more
It's
tension. Just
one
do
thing is
it.
crystal clear. Yeah.
Yeah, just do it. So,
But
um,
speaking into tying a value to certain things based off name, I think it would be a perfect tie into our first big gaming news topic of the night. A rumor that just will not go away. And when I keep hearing it and keep seeing it and it keeps being brought up, I'm like, there has to be something to this. Do we really think that Rockstar is going to charge $100 for GTA 6?
yeah,
no,
yeah, yeah. Like, cause bro, you forgot the digital deluxe edition. You forgot the collector's edition. You forgot
Early
the
access?
ultimate edition.
Mhm.
Like, yeah, bro. Like, there's gonna be some version that's over
yeah.
$100.
There's versions right now that's over $100 on that's okay. I mean, but for base, I think base should be regular price. It's gonna be $70.
Is
It's either
it?
gonna be 70 or
Is it?
80.
Is it?
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. Base, yeah. And then
Like,
you'll get your
I'll definitely say the 80 mark. They'll probably might
yeah.
start there.
And then you'll get your power plus packs and XYZ packs. They're gonna have probably 4 options. This is the first time you'll see, hey, if you really want to head start of the game, you can get a condo already. All you have to do is pay $200 up front. You get the season pass. You know what I'm saying?
And
Like,
people will do it. People will do it.
And people will do it,
That-
man.
see,
You get a head start online.
because that's the thing that I feel like it is kind of scary. Of like, gaming has kind of turned into and they talk about this a lot in the mobile community, right? Mobile game community. It's like they talk about the idea of whales, right? So whales is a term you give to a gamer where it's like, even if we charge a ridiculous amount for something, because there is somebody who either wants it, one, or two, needs it, right? So they're a content creator about this thing, they will spend that money to make sure that they have exclusive access to it. Right, that's why all these mobile anime games do so well, because you have dedicated content creators who just spend bread
remember
on
like
that.
what they did for GTA, the last one, bro, with them little cards.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the great white shark card, the hammerhead shot. Like, bro, you already know that's coming.
Yeah, you had a virtual credit card in your virtual video game. That's crazy. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, that's the thing that I'm like, because it keeps coming up. I'm like, all these little game podcasts I listen to, they keep
want the Miami Vice
bringing
edition
it up.
card? Extra $50.
The Miami Vice pack.
You want the Miami Vice pack? You want the Liberty City pack?
Right.
And you know you can play CJ and San Andreas in this game? What? You selling me Franklin again? Oh, yeah. Oh, you can unlock them only for a small fee of $500,000 in game, of course. But to get that, you gotta pay $100 to get.
Yeah, I think the simplest theory I've heard, which made the most sense to me, is that they charge the $70 for GTA 6 standard, and then GTA Online is $30. So that way you get to $100 of like, obviously these games will always kind of come online with the purchase of the game. The running theory is that they're going to be selling the online experience separate from the game, because as we know,
I definitely
Rockstar's Online doesn't have to coincide with the game.
And that's where, like, when I was looking at, like, there's been a lot of games that are starting to do that now.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of feel like once they did it for Grand Theft and Red Dead, I was like, yeah, they're going to separate these worlds, bro. And then you know who's going to follow right in their footsteps? A person called Call of Duty.
I was gonna say EA, Ubisoft, Activision.
Ubisoft is not in a position to do anything like that.
Y'all want the next edition of the Call of Duty story? Oh, $30.
Yeah, bro. So
$30 for an 8-hour campaign.
And that's the thing that, like, and that's I guess why I also want to bring up this topic of, like, I do think, because there's been, of course, more and more recent reports pouring out about what games the majorities are playing, right? And while I think it's like 60% are still playing unique games, which is still the majority, 40% are playing Fortnite, GTA 5, I think the sports games, and Call of Duty. That's it, year round.
You already know how I feel about those customers, bro, especially working at GameStop.
Yeah, but if the mindset is like, if we can just get that customer, we win. What does that say for the rest of those games that don't fall into that 40% of, like, listen, you're not getting a Fortnite skin price out of me. It's not gonna happen. I play Marvel Rivals with the default costumes on at all time. It's fine. They look just fine in their regular suits. But we're not the target audience, right? And I think that's the thing that worries me, of, like, we've gotten to a place where it's like, again, content creators are paying an extra $30 or so to play the game 3 days early, just so they can stream the game first.
We were back in the day, bro. Because I'll be honest with you, bro. Street Fighter was hitting me hard with them costume packs. Then you know what? My mind got smarter, and I was just like, you know what, Capcom? I'll wait for you to release an Ultimate Edition, and I'll just call it a day. And
even then, they sold DLC costumes for that.
Bro.
I remember when I texted you, I said, Tim, are they doing DLC for Ultra Street Fighter 4? The game that's supposed to have everything?
The definitive edition.
Right. You're like, yeah, it's everything up to that point. I'm like, I thought that was the point of this game. It's everything.
No, they just needed one more pack. No, but you're right, bro. Like, it's for, like, the content creators as of now. Because especially when you're making that stream life your whole bread and butter, you just need anything to stand out. And of course, it's the kids of this generation, bro. Like, I could even see it in my nephew now. Like, that aesthetic is just, they're wired. It's like, bro. That's what when I said the last time, like, bro, a Pokemon trading card game on your phone. You know how dangerous that sounds. My adult mind is like, oh, you mean to tell me that there's a holographic Sabrina and I only got to pay X, Y, Z to get this? Bro, once that credit card is on your phone, purchase, 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 purchase.
Mhm.
It's like, and that adds up, man. And imagine that times 20,000 people
Of
doing the
course.
same thing.
Yeah, of course. Being nostalgia fueled or competitive or whatever is fueling them. I want to be the first one to talk about this. That's something I just feel like everyone's kind of like, oh man, that's like, Grand Theft Auto is the exception. Like, it's the exception until it's not. Like, because again, we don't need all of you. We only need a few. We only need a few that are their wallets are fat enough to compensate for what we're asking for. And and like you said many times before, Tim, like the human desire of want, of I want to be left out, we will figure out. Like I made the joke, like I'll figure out a way to pay $100 for Grand Theft Auto 6. I won't, but I'm like, but that's the mindset of like, I want to be in. I want to be part of this experience. I'll pay. I'll do whatever I got to do. I'll Uber from morning to night if I got, like it's just.
I'm already paying $100 for shoes.
Exactly.
You pay $100 for shoes?
No, I'm saying the people.
Oh yeah,
that's the comments, bro. I mean, if you buy boots, military boots, you can.
Yeah, and I was like, but with taxes and everything, even if you get the shoes for like under 100,
people do installments now for shoes, fam. Installments, Skip.
It's crazy. It's rough. So, speaking of games in which the publisher's freedom is on full display, Kojima, during his South by Southwest presentation, gave us a 10-minute trailer of Death Stranding 2, complete with a release date. It'll be here in the summer. And like I was saying right before we came back from our break, I was like, man, as I was watching this, I'm like, oh, I cannot wait to pod. So I can say, Tim and Jory, please explain to me why this man is still able to do whatever he wants, because I had no idea what was happening. And I don't want to disrespect. I don't want more people in my comments saying like, "Oh,
Listen, honestly, all right. Especially after the fallout of what happened with the Phantom Pain, and he started his own studio. I mean, well, no, actually, no. The studio was already Kojima Productions was always.
I think it was like an LLC, and then it became a studio.
Yeah. Okay. So this is his first major title out the gate. And, this is a second installment of that series. Like, to be honest, I didn't even think it was going to get a part 2. I thought it was just a one and done series. I never played the game because I didn't really like the gameplay of it. Like, I was like, I don't want to play DHL the game. And but I get it. Like, when it comes to his level of storytelling, like, there's a lot of details in it. And maybe when somebody does the breakdown of the video, maybe I will be enlightened. But what I'm looking at right now,
I don't think I need that though.
Yeah.
When y'all was telling me that Metal Gear Solid had 10-minute cutscenes, I'm like, you imagine what that mind is going to be like with no one to tell him no. look.
Honestly, I just, he's having fun. He brought in a good, decent cast. Like I said, I mean, if it's weird, it's weird. But like I said, it will be somebody's cup of tea.
I mean, I watched content creators that like the game, that like the first Death Stranding. That they thought that the concept it was trying to achieve, it worked well in that regards. To me, like you said, Tim, I'm like, I don't see how delivering packages as a means of being a metaphor for our needs to have a community is my idea of a good time. I want to pick up my controller. So that's why I'm not judging it, but I'm like, I just don't see the appeal, is what I'll say. That's what
okay.
I don't see the appeal.
I'll say this. Like, you got to remember, we want to play a game.
Oh, it's a game.
Yeah. No. It's not a game. It's a simulator. We want to play a game. Meaning we want conflict. We want resolve. We want solutions. We want a unique experience.
Troy Baker?
Oh no, that's what we see now after the complaints. But that doesn't guarantee anything.
Mm-hmm.
After I'm seeing this puppet moving in 14 frames, starting to talk and do a dance like he's a part of the Backstreet Boys. Once I saw that them girls singing and taking selfies, I say, hey, what am I playing? What am I playing? So
that's why I said y'all explain it to me.
Going back to Death Stranding 2. Like, this game would have been perfect had they like turned it into like a Ghostbusters or drew inspiration from earlier versions of Alan Wake. the first installments, or something from like a science fiction. Maybe it's a
I
little bit
mean,
like
it's hitting the
silent.
nails on the sci-fi end.
It
I'll
No,
give
definitely
you
it
is
that.
is. It
sci-fi.
is. No, it's great.
Definitely.
No, but you know, explain some of the gameplay. Like, let there be fun gameplay mechanics unique to,
But I think
but
that's Kojima. That's always been Kojima. Like you're never really knowing what you're getting until you actually play it.
yeah.
Like,
So, from
and then remember,
just
like I said, bro, like this is his first time away from what we are known by traditionally. Like, and
Hmm.
when I say traditional, the Metal Gear Solid saga. Like, look how long that saga has lasted. That started from before we were even born to our mid adulthood.
Yeah.
yeah,
So I have a question as an outsider who's only played
Go
Metal Gear
ahead.
Rise and Revengeance. At what point do we come to the conclusion as a gaming community that Kojima really just wants to make movies? He doesn't want to make video games anymore.
I
Because that's
mean,
what I see from the outside looking in.
once I saw the picture with Jordan Peele,
That's to me again, as somebody who's like is familiar with his work, but not like a fan to the level that you guys are. I'm like, this is a guy that wants to make movies. His video
yeah,
game
let him
days
do
are
it.
like,
Let him do it. Kojima Productions.
yeah. Let him make movies
Let
now
him
and
do it. Let
hire
him do
other
it.
people to make games, and a part of his.
yeah,
I mean, because we've always been saying, for people who want to do video game adaptations to, movie adaptations to video games, he's a perfect contender to do it.
I can't think of anybody better.
Let him do
Just
it.
get his own films off.
Yeah, I mean, to me, he has some of the best trailers ever made.
Yeah, that trailer was
And
beautiful.
that's why I said when I saw that Metal Gear Solid 3 Delta, I was like, bro, what is this?
Yeah,
What
you're
is
right.
this?
Death Stranding.
Trash.
I will say to something that Tim has said multiple times, and I'm like, I think this is a good example. I'm like, this trailer was probably one of the first times I was like, this looks like a PS5 game. Like a lot of these games look very cross-gen, and these trailers, I'm
Yeah.
like, there's no way they're getting this on a last-gen console. It's impossible.
Yeah,
30 seconds
yeah.
in, I was like, oh yeah, no.
But I'm gonna get it to support him. I'm gonna buy Death Stranding on Xbox and give it a go. I heard this version, the director's cut, is a better version of the base game. There's way more action, way more fun. So I'll get what I expect out of it.
We'll watch your
Listen,
streams.
For
huh?
real.
Yeah,
We
yeah,
will
yeah,
support
yeah.
by the stream
Listen,
for sure.
listen, man. I'm just trying to get everything set up for the stream. The iPad is limited due to it not being able to have the software I'm using at the time.
Mm,
If you hear that Camo Studio, you know, let's talk let's talk to Apple, and let's get something
figure it
going, because
out.
this is what I'm using right now. But yeah, with Death Stranding, man, there's I think he needs an anchor, man. I'm sorry. He needs an
Yeah.
anchor.
He needs a
When I
Cell
say
Saga editor.
anchor, when I say yeah, he needs a your editor. He needs what you call it needs to be more. Hey, listen, if you add a tail to Raiden, I'm leaving the entire project. You already gave him heals. What are you doing?
I
What are you doing?
mean,
No,
all the cyborg ninjas had.
that was it. That it kind of made sense. Okay, you want to go the Eon Flux route? I'm not mad at you. You know what I'm saying,
Mm,
with the bizarre,
mm.
but at the same time, it wasn't like, yo, what is Raiden wearing heels? But then you see how to utilize it is okay. It's like, okay, but you're still gonna add a tail to Raiden. That's
Yeah. But
you know,
that's what I mean. Again, that's why I kind of defaulted it to y'all, because I admittedly, and I said it multiple times, I'm not as familiar with his work as you guys are. So like
yeah,
to
yeah,
me, when I
yeah,
see it, I'm like, this to me looks like another creative who doesn't have enough people reining them back in. That's all.
yeah.
Sometimes you
There's
just need
no
someone to be like, hey
kickback.
man,
Yeah,
hey, love the pitch, love the approach. We're just gonna, if we could just just dial it back.
yeah,
Like in the acting world, right? When you do an audition, they're always like,
Honestly,
we can see you
honestly,
come
I
down,
think
but we
that's.
can't get you there. It's
I
hard.
think a way to really understand his creative freedom. I really do feel like there was a lot of hurtful things that happened with the Phantom Pain.
Mhm.
Like, and I feel like since now he's fresh, he's free to do whatever he wants. I think it's almost like, all right, let me just do this my way. Like, just to say that I had that I did it like fully, no constraints. The budget was there. Leave me alone. And I feel like that's what this is. Now, and to be honest, bro, like his level of storytelling is phenomenal. So, like I said, bro, when them after movies and when them theory breakdowns happen, maybe it would add light to the full bigger picture.
I don't want that though. I just want to
No, but
understand it while I'm playing. You
there's
feel
a
me?
place for it, bro. There's a place
There
for it.
is.
It's not for
There
me.
is, but
There's
dog,
a
I want
place
to
for
play a
it.
game, fam.
Yeah,
I want to play
I
a
want to
game
play a game.
and learn. I want to learn, but Tim, I'm all I'm saying is I want to connect through it while I'm playing. You get what I'm saying? If you're gonna give
I
me
guess that's what's
extra,
Metal Gear Delta for. Even
extra,
though
no. Tim, what I'm saying is like what you're saying is great, but that should be stuff that I didn't realize that were hidden gems. It shouldn't mean I just beat this game. I'm gonna go get a video essay to understand what exactly I played and what happened. I
Like
don't
it
want to
was a
have to do
movie,
that. Like it was a movie. Like I want to watch it and say, yo, that movie. I understood what Megatron was trying to do, and then I get the video essay. Megatron was trying to do this, but did you notice this? Oh, bravo! I didn't. It should be an add-on. I should not have to depend on a content creator to decipher things that you're.
honestly, bro, it's part of the ecosystem now these days, bro. It really is.
I
It
mean,
really,
that's
it's
fine.
a half and half. It's a half and
that's
half.
fine.
Like
Like,
I said.
but it's kind of what you said about the whole marketing thing, Tim. It's like I understand the need to use content creators for marketing, but when you depend on them, that it shows in the worst kind of ways. So it's like if I'm depending on these content creators, if I'm depending on these Kojima loyalists to give you all the breakdown of this game I'm about to drop, that's not good, in my opinion. That means you didn't do a good enough job conveying your story.
Yeah. And
Again,
if
we
they're
don't
not
know.
there anymore,
Yeah,
YouTube
right. I'm
laws
like,
change, and now you got to pay 10,000 something.
Hey,
I mean, not
like I
10,000.
said, bro, it was Death Stranding, and they had a director's cut, and then now it has a part 2. So obviously, it did something right. So that's the way I look at it. So I mean, Jory, enjoy that. Let us know how it is.
for real.
I'll let you
Yeah.
know. I'll let you know,
I'm
man.
like, again, visually, I was very impressed.
Yeah.
It's on like Naughty Dog's level of like motion capture. I'm like, this game looks amazing.
No, you
The
have
bar of quality
A1
is
level of actors. You have wasn't the girl who's in that movie called Substance? Now she was in Death Stranding 1.
oh. Listen,
Oh,
I
okay.
know nothing about the first game. When I saw the gameplay, I said, "Oh, well, time to check out." So that's why I'm like, I don't even want to say anything disrespectful. I'm like, I'm saying this from the highest level of ignorance of like I've literally paid no attention to this game outside of the trailers.
So my second question, what do you guys think of Solid Snake entering the game? A pseudo Snake.
I think it's a great thing.
It's typical Kojima, bro.
He's just playing. He's just playing,
Because
right?
to be
Playing
honest, bro,
around.
like many game companies do that. Like they have Easter eggs, like especially when they create in their own universe of games, they have like Easter eggs. Like Naughty Dog does it, Insomniac does it, Sucker Punch does it. Like I remember when I was playing Ghost of Tsushima, they had like when you was collecting like samurai headbands.
Mm-hmm.
There was one like you find hidden somewhere. It's called the Second Son, like Infamous.
Mm-hmm.
And then they even had a Sly Cooper armor. So like many game companies have done that. Like once they have their ecosystem, they do that all the time. Now when I saw like Solid Snake and a tribute to Rex, I was just like,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
One of the voice actors is
obviously,
Senator Armstrong from Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance. I said, "Oh, okay, I see what we're doing here." You know you know what they say? There's a Jay-Z bar for everything. Where he's like, "I heard saying they made Hove say, okay, so make another Hove. Okay, like I'm gonna take back my IP in my own way. You drop your little remaster, and I'm gonna show you a new Snake that's even better than what you guys are doing."
Wow.
And to be honest, bro, I felt like the way how he just did it was so like it's very creative. It's very creative. Like it does give me Power World energy. And that's why I was just laughing so hard, bro. I was like, yo. Because honestly, bro, it's rightfully so, man. Like what happened to the Phantom Pain was very heartbreaking of what we got cut out of. Yeah. Like there was so much more that was meant for that game that would have made it honestly a perfect 11 for me. But then the simple fact that y'all cut that,
Yeah, listen, that game, man, that was one of the best prologues I've ever played in my life. And I mean that. That prologue was intense,
Intense. Because
insane.
you didn't even know if this part was a cutscene. Oh no, bro, you were supposed to move your controller, fam. Pay attention. I was
Yeah,
like,
dog.
oh, excuse me.
That was the best prologue I've ever played in my life. Like the suspense, the cinematography, and that to this day, that's still one of my favorite games of all time. Like I'm just it's just you're playing it and you get angry while you're playing it, so you're like, I gotta put this
Because
down.
you know what could have been. It's like a
Yeah.
lot
Could
of
have been.
things. You know, they say knowledge is a blessing and a curse, right? The more you know, the more you're just like,
Mhm.
so
Yeah, like
we'll see, right? I think we'll see if Kojima is able to craft something out of this franchise. Obviously, he has all the passion about it to want to kind of reapproach it again. Like Tim said, this very well could have been a one and done, and he did something else. So there must be some reason why he decided to return to this property, and I hope that it ends up doing well for him. Right? I think I will always champion for someone's creative freedom. I just think he kind of gives me vibes of somebody that like might need an editor that's like, yo, man, nah, just no, we're not dropping the dancing puppet trailer. It's not happening. We're not doing that. You know, like just that's all. That's all I gotta say. Just like, hey, man, cut that. Just cut that part. Let's skip to Cell's perfect form like today. We don't need.
while I was watching the trailer, I just said, "Oh, this is Metal Gear Solid Heavy Rain, Death Stranding."
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
I
Good
mean,
luck.
If he wins an Oscar, we can't say nothing.
Good. He wants to make a
We
movie.
can't say.
That's all. I
Can't
like I said, like let this man make a movie. Let him drop a 6-hour cinematic cutscene film. I'm cool. You know, like clearly this is what you want to do. Low key, high key. And speaking of low key, high key, wanting to make movies, our other guy, our other big creative visionary, get to do what he wants when he wants to. Neil Druckmann did an interview recently in which he was asked about the upcoming Last of Us season 2, of course, coming to HBO next month, as well as the game. And he had said back in 2021 that he had a general outline of where he wanted to take part 3. And now in this interview, he's saying, maybe don't expect a part 3. So my question to you guys is, what do you think changed? And like I said in the chat, does this story need a part 3?
See, that's the thing, man. Naughty Dog is not the type of studio to juggle multiple games. Because if you really paid attention to their track record, they were kind of definitely already done with Uncharted as The Last of Us was going.
Mm-hmm.
So now they're focused on Intergalactic. I do feel like if they do a season 3, I think they're going to restrict it to only just being a show, like a show exclusive.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think that's what HBO's kind of do. Because think about it was cool to see the video game comparisons to the show comparisons. Because bro, people was like, I want to see this happen.
Yeah.
I want to see this happen. But but that's one of the things about when you're really doing an actual almost a 95% one for one. It's kind of like, okay, well, they haven't done a part 3 and they're clearly moving on to something else.
Mm-hmm.
So, and you're not going to wait another 3 years for a season 3.
Mm-mm.
So what is it that you need to do? So I do feel like maybe how this season 2 goes, because maybe they might make a change. Excuse me. Maybe they might make a change or something. And to be honest, we don't even know what part of how long season 2 is. I mean, in terms of the game, like what part it's going to go up to, because they never clarified that.
Yeah, he did say that this upcoming season will not cover the entirety of the game. He's made that very clear. We don't know how many more seasons that means, but season 2 will not be the entirety of Last of Us.
Well, I mean, the way the formula has been going, they've been doing part 1, part 2. So if it's a part 2 where they cover the rest, but then like I said, I do foresee that they might just do, like, if they do a Last of Us part 3, it would just be
as
a TV exclusive,
Mm-hmm.
like an epilogue story.
Yeah,
like
personally,
which is not bad.
Yeah, I'm like, I would prefer that if I'm gonna be honest with you. Like I said in the chat, and I'll say it here, I honestly don't think Last of Us needed a part 2. If I'm being completely transparent, I don't think.
Yeah, there are some games it's a one and done, bro. There's some games that's a one and done.
I don't think we got anything in The Last of Us 2 story wise that I needed to see play out. It was fine. Like, I'm not one of those people. Like, I know Last of Us 2 has been very divisive for the fans over the years. I generally like the game. I think the gameplay is great. Graphics, of course, at the time, like I told you, my PS4 was on fire trying to play that game. And yeah, I'm like,
I think I remember.
Yeah, like,
I remember.
I'm like, I'm not a fan of Abby, but I'm like, I understand the thematics of her character. I'm just like, to me, like, this is a story that, like, if they had kept this in the tuck, I would have been fine personally. So like, to me, like, if they want to kind of conclude things in a part 3 from a cinematic aspect, I'm like, I'm okay with that. Like, I don't necessarily need to see Ellie's next chapter in this story. It's just kind of the same thing with the Uncharted. I'm like, I don't really need to see another Nathan Drake story either. Like, I kind of got what I needed.
Or even like I said, I even said it to myself, bro. Like, Lost Legacy was a great epilogue story to me. Like, you made it interesting, by using like other side characters, and then you had some familiarity when you brought in his brother. But then, to be honest, like, yeah, bro, I don't want to see no more Sam. I don't want to see no more Chloe, or I don't want to even see more of Nadine. Like, this was actually a great way to end this off because it was familiar. Like, yeah, it kind of gave me like a more modernized version of 1. Like, you're in a jungle-like setting. They had some of the best puzzles ever. Like, I was like, bro, like, one of them, I was like, bro, I need a guidebook, bro. I'm sorry. I don't know what's going on here.
I ain't missing in-game puzzle at all. That's not my forte. It's not my bag.
Refined combat.
Get ready for the Resident Evil stream puzzle.
Oh, don't you worry. I'm gonna be talking to y'all. I'm gonna be like, do what?
So, yeah, it was a great epilogue, man. And that's where I kind of feel like maybe that's what The Last of Us needs. It just needs an epilogue, but it doesn't have to be video game format. It really doesn't.
Okay. Esther, you got any thoughts on The Last of Us?
Because, all right, this is my final point. Sorry about that. Because,
no, you good.
You already cut off the main component that The Last of Us that people were asking for. Like how, said the ecosystem that we were working for. Like, no, we wanted the online version, bro. It's kind of like, well, you already have, ripped the Band-Aid off and put it on another one. So it's just like, yes, let the people enjoy this show for what it is. And if you decide to do more with it, I think this is a good way to do it. Just a show component. Get
no
them
push back here. Yeah, no push back here. Sorry, you gonna say, Tori?
No, I mean, like, The Last of Us is cool, man. I never really, it wasn't just, I guess I wasn't in the mood at the time. I mean, it was a cool game. The graphics was blowing people out of the water, so I didn't really follow. Who, whatever the fans want, give it to them. That's what, people like the product. I mean, the people enjoy The Last of Us. I felt the first story from what I remember, like watching it on the cutscenes or whatever. I thought the first story was perfect. Leave it like 28 days later, the first one. Just leave it like that. And yeah, I don't think you should do a part 3 because you already done canceled everything else. Just focus on some new IPs. Yeah, those things. You gotta keep your team, your staff's morale in check, man. They're not going to be motivated, and especially if they feel like, hey, we did all that we can do.
We remastered this IP about 6 times now. Like, please.
That's it.
I don't want to
see another cornfield.
That's another thing, bro. Because like just seeing The Last of Us with an, you feel that is like again.
Yeah, it's almost triggering. Re-what? Last of Us reworked to include the HBO's aspects into the story this time.
it's no objections, no, it's wasn't a game that I really like gravitated towards. I never played it before, so I watch people play it.
It's a
So
it's a good game. I still think Last of Us 2 has some very great gameplay mechanics that I wish other games would take advantage of. Like the AI with your enemies was unnerving. I'm like,
yeah.
yo, they got the
I
dog
heard that was
circling
a
from the
great
back.
aspect.
They already
Jeez.
found Buddy in the corner, and all I got is a handful of nails. What am I gonna do?
Put them between your fingers and become Wolverine.
I think it's like, to me, and it seems like we're all on the same page of like, whatever they decide to do is fine, but I just don't. I wasn't moved when I saw the headline. I'm like, okay. Like, all right.
Yeah, because you got to know when to exit, man. Like I said, factions was a big blow. It's a big blow. Like, not to the point where you got canceled or your stock fell, but it's just, you've already announced something new, so you already got people's attention for that. So yeah, if however the show breaks up season 2 or part 2, you could just let that be it in a way. Because to be honest, bro, like if you even do like let's just say one extra episode that is very exclusive, people will be fine. Like I said, an epilogue, something like, okay, that's fine. Like just give it straight dialogue. You ain't got to be super actiony. Okay, this is how this story ends. Boom. Yeah. Let's move on.
Close the chapter. Yeah. I'm again, bro. I am fine. If I never see Nathan Drake in front of my screen with Uncharted in front of it, I will be perfectly fine. I'm like, Uncharted 4 did it. They did it, y'all. They achieved it. They closed the book. It's fine. You hear that, Sony? It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Please.
I don't want nothing with his daughter and
nothing. Nothing. Just it's cool.
I can see the trailer now.
So can I.
So you want to keep it in the family business, huh?
So can I. Sully's in a wheelchair, giving dispatch. No, just it's okay. But speaking of IPs that people can't seem to get enough of, Capcom, or AKA Cap God, did another one. They continue to shake off the shackles of Crapcom. They've shaken that name, and they've kind of embraced their quote unquote Cap God era, depending on who you talk to. Monster Hunter Wilds sold 8 million copies in the first few days of being released. It has one of the highest Steam engagements on the platform in some time. The reason why I bring this up is, one, that's I think it kind of spits in the face of the games industry's collapsing, right? Like I think we're seeing a perfect example of strong IP, strong fan base, strong desire to cater to said fan base, money printer. But I wanted to ask y'all, with Capcom's I guess repairing of gaming trust, right? Giving us the collections we were asking for, treating Street Fighter with some level of respect, giving the Monster Hunter that Monster Hunter fans wanted. Is Capcom in a place where you guys feel like they are kind of firing on all cylinders? Do they still have room for improvement with certain genres? Like, how do we feel about Capcom in 2025?
I think they're still in the window where they know they're capitalizing very hard. The Monster Hunter series has been getting a lot of successful wins, so they know that's secure. And of course, Resident Evil. The other day I just saw it was like I think it was like the 19th anniversary of Resident Evil 5. I was like, bro, it's been 19. What?
Right.
I was like,
don't do too much math.
I was like, how old is Resident Evil 5? And it's just like, 16 years. Okay, yeah, 16 years.
That ain't great either.
Like, oh. But it's the simple fact, bro. Like, they know what the people want. It's just how will they conduct it. Because to be honest, all right, there's one more character for this, Street Fighter season pass. We're bringing back the one black woman of the entire Street Fighter saga. So we're looking forward to seeing Elena again.
That is
but
crazy.
It's like, okay, so after that, where do we go from here? Because I kind of feel, there was a lot of good momentum with the Fatal Fury crossover.
People enjoy those
Like I said,
characters.
where do we go from here?
Mhm.
Because they could tell that people are not feeling these costumes. They're not feeling them.
No,
Nah.
it's not. It ain't
Like
hitting the way
the hub world
they
was
thought it would.
cool. The hub world was cool to an extent, but you could see the burnout of it already.
Mhm.
So it's kind of like, all right, so where does Capcom go from here with this particular title? Because you already fumbled the story because there was no real story.
Mhm.
Everybody's alive.
Yeah, and thriving. I'm sure. What's his name? Goken is somewhere still practicing martial arts despite having survived the hole in his chest. You know, it's all good.
So it's kind of like it literally is saying, like, you know, I mean, and it speaks dollars too, but
Yeah.
also on the free side of like, all right, well, how are you expanding the Street Fighter experience? So yeah, like, you know, with the fighting game competition coming up, I do foresee something around that time. But it's like, okay, so where do you go from here? Season 3, put up or shut up.
But does Street Fighters, or should I say, does Capcom, at least right now, have anything that they still need to prove with Street Fighter specifically? Because I would probably argue that they don't. Right, like Mortal Kombat's not a factor right now. Tekken depends on who you talk to. You know, like I think Street Fighter is kind of in a very solid place of like they don't really need to do too much.
I do feel like I am very happy that they're reviving their properties. The only Musha game I'm looking forward to. Like I said, bro, people just want something with Mega Man to return. And you know, my personal one, I would say, is Mega Man Legends because people still feel slighted by that.
Would you want today's Capcom to make Mega Man Legends?
Yes and no.
Okay.
Because I do feel like the style of Mega Man Legends, it's very heavily story focused.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like that's like good ground to actually base a good Capcom game on. Like, you know, you could tell that they really focus on story again. So it's just like it just really, like, I think they are playing it safe. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
They know that their collections, you can't go against them. Like, you know, they put enough polish in them, you know, the art books, the digital art books and all that stuff.
Beautiful.
The rollback netcode, of course, and then, you know, their next collection is about to get skyrocket. So it's just, they're playing it safe right now. And they know they're in safe waters. So I'm just trying to see, like, you know, where do they really go from here?
Yeah, and that's kind of why I asked you guys the question, because I'm like, I feel like, are they in a place now where they, you know, again, we've seen the era where they had to gain back the goodwill of the people. Like we've seen Capcom like struggle on all fronts to get people to willingly jump on their side, and now it kind of seems like that ship has righted for the most part. So like my thing is like, okay, you've won back your horror fans, you won back your fighting game fans. You're potentially going to win back your third person action adventure fans on Onimusha. Like, what else is there for y'all to kind of like fix? You know,
also Onimusha's good.
And that's why I said Mega Man, because, you know, Mega Man is kind of like almost like another Kojima story. There was a little Fallout action, and it's like, so people want to see Mega Man, some version of Mega Man again. I mean, you don't gave us all the collections possible.
Yeah, and a 10 and an 11, so it's not like
like. And to be honest, I wouldn't even want to see that version of Mega Man come back. The little pew 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 jump pew pew. I don't want to see Mario Mega Man again.
There's an audience for it, bro.
I personally don't.
It's hard. Like, you got fans of that. You got Mega Man X fans. It's a hard thing to kind of figure out who to cater to.
But that's why I said, bro, and that's why I still stand by what I said, man. I feel like Mega Man Legends is the one that deserves it the most. Because honestly, bro, like that story was so beautiful to me, man. Like I remember when one of my neighbors introduced that to me, bro. Like I was hooked. Like this is a PlayStation 1 game. Like it's a great story, man. And like even if they would have remastered the first 2 games, bro, with their current engine and then whatever story tweaks that they do, all right, I think that
would be. I'll forgive them.
No, you know what they'll have to do? They will have to retcon the ending of 2, where he gets stuck on the moon. Because if he ain't really doing the 3,
but you know how that goes. they're gonna keep it the exact way, so they'll put it in gamers' brains. Like, well, if I buy this, they'll finish the storyline, whether they do or they don't. We know, we've lived on this earth long enough to know how these companies work. It's they all do it. I'm gonna just tease y'all a little bit just to make sure y'all support it, because we
I mean,
quote
I
unquote
would
may
love
not
for
make
them.
another one.
I would love for Dino Crisis, especially, to return. Because it's like, all right, you've been experimenting with all this other mechs and stuff like that. Okay, calm down. Like,
I mean,
even with
Exo Primal might have been the test.
like even with like Lost Planet, like I'm glad that they finally gave Lost Planet a rest, because it's like,
They lost that thing on the planet. They lost the concept on the
yeah,
planet. They turned into
like it
Gears
was
of War.
like, to be honest, like I feel like Lost Planet would have been better as a Capcom anime only, like an actual anime story where they could have gone into detail about some of these things.
I don't like.
I think it was a great
animes.
gun. It was a great game. Part 2 was amazing. I think if they do Lost Planet, if they go back to Lost Planet, they have to build off of Lost Planet 2. That was the most fun I've had. Just pure gameplay.
Yeah, it was
Pure
like mech shooter Monster Hunter, basically.
mech shooter monster, but with aliens, and then you had environments, and you had to wipe them out. Had a little bit of Starship Troopers involved in
Yeah,
that. It was a great game. The boss battles were fun. It was fresh off of next gen concepts. It was its own thing. It's like, man, what game is that? Like, when are we gonna get back to the days to where we like, wow, I want to play that. This is where versus again. Okay,
and then
like
Joey, you made a very fair point in the group chat the other day. You could tell when they're coming out when there's something new game wise, when there's an anime property coming. Onimusha, Devil May Cry.
remake.
Honestly, it would be great, man. And I
It
feel
would
like they
definitely
should.
be great if
And
they
I
did a
think they
remake
should
3.
do a remake or a reboot or something, because it's like, all right, the way 5 ended, okay, where do you really go from there? And I feel
5
like
disappointed me, man.
they're also trying to learn from their mistakes of writing themselves into a hole, because they've done it with so much of their properties.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of like, all right, now is your time for a very cohesive story. How do you do it?
I concur.
My question is always going to be, can they do it? Because you guys have argued me down. No, they could write. I'm like, no, they can't. They can't write. Neither can Tekken, and neither can MK. All we've seen this past generation is that these writers have lost their ability to write. So like, y'all keep saying all you need is a good story.
Like
I'm like, that's the thing that's gonna
need to like drop the Japanese campiness. I feel like that's what it's like, bro. Like, because I'm be real, bro. Like, you mean to tell me a monk was watching Kazuya fight his father to the death, and then also a demon? Okay.
Yeah. And Ryu and Ken's master survived a technique that has been known to kill a man immediately. He survived.
He went to sleep.
Yeah, he just hibernated. After the hole got put through his chest. It was fine.
The same thing Superman did when he fought Doomsday.
Yeah, and just came back stronger than ever. It's whatever.
The enemy that you can only kill one time the same way, and then after that, good luck. It's done.
We'll see. We'll definitely see. Man. I mean, we haven't entered spring yet, so
how would they do a Dino Crisis? That would be insane.
I mean, well, they got a whole new engine to work with, bro.
You got nothing but
pretend 3 never happened.
Running around.
No more dinos in space. Like, that's just
If she suplexes a raptor, shit,
maybe they'll draw inspiration from the new Turok game, because remember that's coming out.
True.
Yeah.
True. Maybe they're gonna let Turok jump in front of that train first. Of like, okay, let me see how the audience responds to that. Oh, they like it.
You can't go wrong with Turok. Even if you were to approach Turok like a Far Cry, you would still win.
According to the way people respond to that trailer, I guess you can go wrong with Turok.
Well, these people need to go someplace. How many first-person shooters do you want, guys?
Gamers are so.
It don't make no sense.
Like, why are y'all so angry about every little thing?
Dogmatic.
It's not a first person anymore. Trash.
Like you crayon eating, glue sniffing, marker sniffing. Like, guys, understand that first person. You're already in first person, guys. Why do you want? Why do you want to do it again?
Right. Right.
You gonna pay all this stuff, man? I can't unlock this armor that I can only see in first person. Tattoo lovers,
Right.
you feel me? Like,
I can
no,
only see with
like,
the ray tracing on. It's like, well, then it means nothing. It means nothing. It holds no weight. And
y'all mad?
I
Y'all
understand
mad?
the whole purist aspect of like, would I be mad? Yes, if I don't know what they made Spider-Man Part 3 in first person. Yeah, I'd probably be like, I definitely didn't need this.
But that's fundamentally different.
But
that's fundamentally different. Like there's been parts of Turok I was like, bro, I wish this was in third person. Because especially when the raptors be clipping you from behind and you're trying to turn back.
bro,
It's like, yes, bro, this should have been there's parts of this
you
that should
gotta
have been
tell me. I told y'all my biggest issue with first person is like the fact that I cannot find cover.
Yeah, and that's another thing. And it's like you're playing as a Native American and a jungle scenery,
Right.
bro. Like
I'm a Native American, jungle scenery, and I can't use no hatchet, no knife. I can't use none of my stuff in talking
stealth
mechanics.
It's like no running gun.
Right.
Y'all didn't get.
And you can't tell me that you can't do cover mechanics because what is Time Crisis? Hello. Step on the pedal to duck out behind cover. So like I've been playing first person with crouching with cover when I was 7 years old, but now that I'm a grown man, it doesn't exist anymore. Oh, we can't do it. We got to run and gun. Everything's Modern Warfare now. Like,
yeah.
Excuse me. Sorry, Joe. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No. It's just like, guys, man, grow up. I'm like, games where, great games where, like the logic has to line up with what you're presenting to me, guys. I don't want to swim in first person. Hey, thank God for Turok 64. I loved it. Best game, most fun game ever. Greatest guns ever. Greatest music ever. Greatest world ever. It was a different world from what I was used to.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's time. You guys didn't get excited that I could kill a dinosaur and now get armor abilities? That didn't excite y'all? We in the year 2025.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all still like y'all didn't get inspired by the Predator movie that just came out? It's a great movie, by the way, guys.
Yeah.
I think if I'm a studio, hey, forget you purists. You're either gonna hop on board. My only thing is make this game as great as possible.
I mean, I hope so. I hope it's not one of those things where we get, no,
because Warhammer.
Eclipse. I don't want Power Rangers.
Because that Warhammer, that Warhammer game,
pretty good.
And the people that made World War Z.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know, bro. To me, like when I see, especially legacy IP like Turok, I'm like, the way games have been going over this past couple of years, be lucky you're getting something at all. I'm not saying this would be great from shut up.
No, in a way,
yeah. But it's just also kind of like,
who would have thought? Yeah. Somebody would have been like, "Yo, Turok, we thought those games were that was it, man. That was it, man. Who would have thought?
It's this or nothing. You can do nothing.
I'm sorry. I'm not climbing no rocks in first person. I'm not scaling no ladder in first person. I'm not going through a portal again in first person anymore, man.
Yeah.
I want to see the world I'm in. I want to see some grass, some herbs. You feel me? Yeah. I want to get some natural herbs, make ointment.
Put my character in mud and crawl past the Velociraptor nest.
Crawls past the Velociraptor who got the Predator cannon attached because the aliens was doing experiments on homie. That's what I want. That's what I want, man.
I don't when I see stuff that what Tim put in the group chat about here was this Twisted Metal game that got canceled, and all the things that they had put in that little projection. I'm like, that actually sounds pretty dope to me, and it still got canceled. So like I said, it's not we'll do this. It's like, no, it's or nothing. Even the games that are making sense are getting canceled. Just
games that would have got green lit in the 90s.
Exactly, with not a second of hesitation. And Twisted Metal's doing well. like the Peacock show it's been well received
on Peacock.
Right. That should tell like, and it still got canceled. Like, just please. It's like when I see people just like the rage. It's like, yo, why are y'all so mad at every little thing? And then when they get proven wrong, they just direct their anger somewhere else. Like, real quick before we move on. Like, I don't know if you guys saw that whole little thing that went on when CD Projekt Red released the behind the scenes of how they made the trailer for The Witcher 4. And somebody took a screen capture of Siri, like, oh, Siri looks better here. They must have listened to us. We won. They made her better looking. And then the director was like, no, it's the same model. You're just seeing her in a different lighting.
We said that.
Right.
We said that already.
You know what they told him, though? They told him, you're lying. I said, okay. Y'all got it. Hey, you who's making the game, you're lying. You're right. I was like, any person who's ever played a game, ever, who's been a fan of games for more than, I'd say, 5 years, know that every single character you see in a reveal trailer goes through some sort of change. Cloud isn't even the same Cloud he was in the Final Fantasy Remake trailer. It's a completely different model. Same attributes, of course, completely different model, because that's how games work, guys. It's an ever-changing, ever-evolving thing. We got a whole new Peter Parker face in a remaster. They made him Tom Holland clone B. He became what's his clone's name? Ben Reilly. He became Ben Reilly in his own game.
Jeez, that's crazy.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
no, I ain't gonna lie, that was nuts.
It was. It really was. And they're just like, this is how he is now. It's just like, he looks younger than Mary Jane. What are we talking about? Like, what
that Family Matters Harriet swap. Like, we supposed to Aunt Vivian's
yeah. Aunt Viv goes from a dark skinned woman to a light skinned woman. Oh yeah,
like, we supposed to pretend. Like, we supposed to pretend. Don't even have the same energy. Like, you went from
yeah, I don't know. But speaking of things that have looked good from the reveal trailer to, the day before the week before the release trailer, guys, Bleach Rebirth of Souls is among us. This time next week, that game will be in the hands of the consumers. Tim and I had like a little brief chat in the group chat about the roster and what seems to be the final roster. But based on what you've seen from these trailers and what they've done, about a 30 plus character roster out the gate for Bleach, what are our thoughts leading up to the release?
I like it. I like what I'm seeing.
I think it's well done. And like I said, especially a game where there's a lot of hack and slash mechanics, I'm glad that they did put the effort to make everybody seem different, even though these trailers are super short.
Yes.
And we don't really know the full scope of the combat. It's just like, well, I am still intrigued because you made everybody different.
Yeah.
Like, even when, they do like particular transformations or power-ups, like, I like how you did it.
Their whole moveset changes.
I'm still seeing typical Namco format with multiple characters.
Of course.
Of a particular protagonist.
Yeah, come on now.
But that's...
It comes with it's the name of the game, right? It comes with the territory.
Yeah, it comes with the territory. But I'm excited, man. I'm excited. I feel like Bleach itself deserved a great revival, and I feel like what they're doing with the Quincy arc in this particular game, I think that's justice in itself.
Yeah,
on multiple fronts. And then just see where it goes from here. Okay.
Troy, what about you? What are your thoughts on Rebirth of Souls?
I like what I'm seeing, man. I like what I'm seeing. I could feel the passion. You're old enough to kind of just know when there's passion behind something. I'm just hoping. Yeah, of course, we didn't get. Were there any full matches being played? Like,
yeah, there were. There's been a couple of developer gameplay over the months. With most of the characters that were revealed early, right? So it's like, of course, the Ichigos versus the Rukias versus the Yorichis, like kind of like the base of the base roster gameplay. So you can get an idea of how the mechanics work.
Yeah, I'm gonna be real with you, man. I love what I'm seeing. I can feel the passion behind the game. It looks great. The characters don't feel like I feel like there's options, right? And they kind of did a great job presenting many options onto how you want to approach the game or even combat. You want to turn this on, get this gauge up, or use this, and this character will do that. Then you can summon your Bunkai, and then after that, you know, I like that. I like that. And I like that it's not going to be a Bleach version of Naruto or a Bleach
Right.
version of
Sparking Zero.
Sparking Zero. No, well, you know, or Bleach version. Sparking Zero has enough uniqueness. It's just, you know, how many. Well, they took some stuff out compared
Yeah.
to Tenkaichi 3, so
Yeah.
they need to bring that back.
Yeah, like, hold on now.
I take that back. Sorry, but oh man, yeah, dang. Yeah, but no, Bleach, yeah, that's bad. Bleach definitely has this. I can feel the uniqueness, man. I'll be honest with you. This is something I'm like, yo, you know what? Let me make this purchase for this. I'll invest in it. I won't probably buy it day one, but I'll probably make sure I buy it within the physical year. If I have extra change around. It looks decent. It looks fun. It looks gorgeous.
Variety of stages, which is something that's
Variety
getting
of
rare and rarer
stages.
these days.
It's playing to you the uniqueness of Bleach. It doesn't seem like a color swap like every other game. It has Bleach's color aesthetics.
Yes.
Like those very nice, warm and cold colors, depending on whatever scene. And sometimes they mix them within the scene. So
I just want it. All right, you know what makes a proper anime game? The soundtrack.
I was gonna say the music, bro.
I was like,
they got the music just right.
I want to hear some of them same Bleach soundtrack, like da 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 da.
When I showed you guys that the trailer that dropped today, where it's like, this is all I wanted from Bleach, just a random person singing in English as I watched the Japanese gameplay. Like, this is Bleach.
Yeah,
this is Bleach.
And then, you know, of course,
Ichigo's theme song is in English. It doesn't make any sense.
When they get to that Arrancar arc, I want that Spanish guitar.
Or the piano always comes in. Like, yeah.
No, because like honestly, bro, like roster wise, they made some good choices, man. Like you know, in terms of, you know, the base character, I would say the base protagonists. You know, they have Chad, they have the, you know, the confused Quincy boy, you know, Ichigo in his multiple forms. You know, they did right by the captains. I feel like they chose all the captains that we really wanted. Like, we didn't want Mr. Sickly.
No. Respectfully. It's just
like,
no.
Respectfully, we did not want Mr. Sickly. And I do feel like, you know, I mean, because I do expect a part 2, like you would get a much more fuller, because I feel like there were certain captains that didn't really do anything until it was the end of their life.
Yeah, like I could see your point when we were talking about Unohana. I'm like, I still think they could have put her in the game because her Shikai would still be the same anyway. It's still going to be that manta ray. It's not like she made a fake Shikai. But I guess to your point of it being a full version of the character, that you would want Kenpachi Unohana. Like, that's what we really, really actually want to play as at the end of the day. You know, so I get it. The only thing all I'm saying is hashtag justice for Berrigan. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah. I was like, wait, real? So you brought in all these hardcore Arancars, but you forget the king of Waco Mundo?
Right. How does Saziel Aporo keep getting put in these games? How does a man who has ventriloquist dummy powers keep getting put in these games, and then the top 3 is like, oh, well, we can't put them all. It's like, then why'd you put him? Like, we can skip this fight. I don't even like this character. His best trait was how he got finished off by Mayuri. That's it.
Then you basically gave us a spot on number 9, but not really.
Yeah. It's... But I think that's the good thing about this conversation right now, is that that's us being nitpicky. And when I find myself getting nitpicky, I'm like, that means the game is good. That means what I've seen overall is enough for me to be like, you know what, small things.
Even when I saw Nelly L, bro, I was like, okay.
Okay. Yeah. I think for me, I'm going to kind of wait to see what the reviews say, right? I'm like, I don't want like the excitement of like, oh, we're finally getting a good Bleach game to kind of override my adult senses of like, it's beautiful but shallow, like we usually get with most of these anime games. AKA anything that CyberConnect 2's put out in the past 5 years. But I think just generally speaking, it's just like, I think if because I know there's been whispers about like, well, this game needs to do well for to be future Bleach games. I'm like, I think based on what I've seen so far, they've already kind of put their best foot forward. Like, I'm like, I could, like Joy said, like, you can tell when someone is trying, and I'm like, y'all look like y'all trying to me. Like, y'all look like you are making an effort. So I'm excited to see how that plays out. Now moving the format to the next part of our show, we do actually have a back to formula, and it is actually an anime game and an anime property that the only one that champions on this pod is S Rank himself. So I will let him lead the charge as to why Baki Hanma Blood Arena deserves to go back to formula.
Yeah. Right. Okay. So my thing is, you guys could at least make an arena game, at least make an attempt to make an arena game. You gave me a very HD looking Flash game,
bro.
That's in the mirror of Punch Out, and I'm not like, no, go. What you doing with this? What are you doing with this? Y'all got enough backings to make a decent game. So you make your Baki Arena game, or holler at Harada and say, hey, we think this will be a great idea.
Could you spare a couple?
Could you spare them and could you put them in Tekken?
Right. Could you give us a little poke in action right now with this property if you don't mind?
Yeah. But instead, you guys spend resources on this cell phone Punch Out game. Like, Punch Out is great. If you want to go back to NES memories, I'm not playing Punch Out. I'm gonna go find me some Fight Night UFC 2025. I'm not playing Punch Out. I'm sorry.
I saw the trailer, so I was like, okay, so www.netflix.com/. Wait, is that a Switch console logo I see? It's coming to console. This?
Like, what do you guys think? That's not what we doing. That's not what we.
I'm like, this is not an app game. This is not a mobile. This is a game.
This is it felt like them cell phone ads where you're like waiting for stuff to load and you just, you're just playing. And I thought this was one of those Flash games to where you're trying to watch illegal manga, anime, and
yeah. You gotta
give
like
that commercial with that video game that don't exist.
Oh my goodness, bro!
Where the cannonballs just ricocheting off of the walls, and then,
oh my goodness,
and that's what it looked like. And I'm watching this, I'm like, yo, this is the greatest. Oh man, the quality was great. Oh man, stupendous. But I was hoping, if not, y'all could have just spent that resources in making a side scroller.
Yeah, you could have done a lot of things. Honestly,
you could have did a lot of things. Not this, man.
I'm like, bro, why does the Samurai Pizza Cats trailer look better than this, bro?
And it's gonna play better. It's gonna play better too. I'm not lying. It's gonna play better.
No, you're probably right. That's why I'm laughing. I'm like, fam, I know I'm not the biggest fan of Baki, but he deserves a little bit more than this.
A little bit more than that. That's not how you make people want your property even more, man. You turn it either into an arena fighter, or you turn it into a game to where you hire the people that did Fist of the North Star, and you go on from there. You know what I'm saying? You hire the Yakuza team and you go on from there.
That could work.
That'll not only would it work, it's genius.
Dynasty Warrior style, like Baki would have worked. It might not even know what people want, but it would have worked. It makes sense within that universe of like, well, yeah, like, have you seen his dad? Like, of course.
Yeah, and so that's where I leave it, man. Back to formula for real, man. Like, what do you guys thinking?
Why even put this out? What do we?
Who asked for this, man?
I think people wanted a Baki game. I think
Impo didn't even try to do anything that ridiculous. That makes more sense for them to do something like Punch Out. But they said, no, we're going to make a boxing game.
The boxing anime put more respect on their IP than
we don't care what resources we have. And it's going to have crazy good mechanics.
Oh my goodness!
I don't know, man.
Where is the Baki and UFC compilation? Right? Where is
it could have been Baki UFC? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just, you would think, but no, there's no imagination.
Tim, you got any thoughts on Baki going back to Formula? No,
Nope.
it's
I'm still trying to finish the anime.
Oh well, I mean, speaking of things that end in disappointment,
It happens.
without going into spoilers. Speaking of things that leave you underwhelmed, wait till you finish the anime. If you thought your suspension of disbelief was high now, just
No,
you wait.
they gotta hire animators, dog. I'm sorry, dog.
Yeah. Yeah. The moving PNG. Yeah. It's
Boy, it was getting on Invincible for that one.
Which is not fair. It's not fair. It's not fair. It's not fair. If we were more of an animation podcast, I actually would have put Invincible as my PSS approved for the week, to be honest, with episode 7. I think episode 7 was like, shut up, I don't want to hear your complaints. I don't want to hear you guys talk about how like these little the animation, like, no, we got a great episode. The season 3 has been firing on all the cylinders that season 2 missed, in my opinion. But we're not an animation podcast. But I will say, shameless plug, go watch Invincible season 3. They've redeemed themselves. They realize the property they have and how they need to treat it a little bit better, is what I'll say.
Not after that Conquest reveal.
I wasn't crazy about, some of the ties.
It's remember, like I said earlier, bro, it's shared universe tie-ins. That's what it is, bro.
I get it, but damn.
Like no, but bro, like it's the internet, bro. It's the internet. Remember even when we posted that in the group, we laughed.
We did, but
we laughed. No, it was the simple fact of the matter is I made you laugh. And that's it.
We laugh about a whole bunch of other stuff.
Regardless. you're gonna watch the fight regardless.
I'm gonna watch it, but it's just
this is equivalent to Vegeta versus Goku first time. Equivalent to Cell versus Goku. This is Cell versus Frieza versus Goku. This is equivalent to that, man. As far as Invincible.
Oh, like stakes. Yeah,
the stakes. This is equivalent to that. So.
Like we've said a lot off mic and some on mic of like, it's just when you start seeing the same rotation of names after a while, you're just like, come on, fam. I know there are other people in this industry. I know.
Yeah, kind of like the cast of Death Stranding, right?
Right. I'm like, you're making me dislike them, even though I know in my mind they're talented actors. I'm just tired of seeing their name. That's it. No disrespect. Obviously, they make sense. They're gonna do a great role, but it's just like, again.
Yeah, Pedro Pascal is the only actor that could do it. So, I mean, good luck, guys.
If you book something, it's because his schedule wasn't free, like, and that's even saying that, like, he's a great actor. It's just like, fam, come on.
Yeah, because bro, like, even on to get on that topic, I felt like the guy that they had in the Doctor Strange movie was perfect.
Which guy?
The guy who
Emily Blunt's husband, who plays in The Office.
John.
Yeah, I was like, he has the aesthetic. Yeah, I was like, bro, like, did you really?
And he wanted to play him. Again? He wanted to play him.
Like, yeah, even though he got killed off quickly, but it's just like
it was just a variant.
I was like, come on, man. But then they had to revive, Tony Stark in some way, so we already know where this is going.
But that I know we're getting completely off topic, but like that goes to my point of like, you see how like people were kind of divided on Robert Downey Jr. returning, and I don't think anybody in their right mind would say Robert Downey Jr. is a bad actor, right? Like I already know him, like he's gonna make a great Doctor Doom, but did I want to see him as Doctor Doom? No, not really. Like not especially, So I tie that back to Invincible of like, yeah, that's a great actor. But you could have done.
No, this one I give it a pass. Like, because it's like it was very comical, especially when the meme started coming out. I was like, all right, I'll give this one a pass.
Yeah.
Now, but if it gets super repetitive, like really.
Yeah, they ended up casting because it was Glenn Negan and what was his girl's name?
Starts with a May. It starts with an M.
Maggie? Was it Maggie?
Maggie, yeah.
Yeah. If Maggie's actress gets cast, something like, all right, bro. All right. Oh, we're recasting Adam Eve. We just decided. All right. Enough is enough now. Like, come on. Did we have a PSS approved this week? Not really, huh?
No.
Okay. That's fine. I guess. Yeah, go watch Invincible. That's my PSS approved stamp for the week. But some of our last topics for tonight. One of the things that was brought up by one of our comments a couple weeks back was definitely in response to our kind of like exasperated reception to Daima, and essentially the point that they were making overall was that like Dragon Ball is just another a long running franchise and a long list of franchises that kind of fell off the wagon, jumped the shark, lost what kind of made them unique. And the example they brought up was Yu-Gi-Oh! And I was like, you know what? That's a fair point, because I think because of how popular Dragon Ball is, I think it took longer. But if you look at some of the stuff that we've enjoyed when we were younger, a lot of that stuff we've kind of checked out. Like, we don't talk about Naruto on here barely ever. You know, Bleach, grateful for what they're doing, but we all know how that Quincy arc plays out. Kind of good. You know, and then with Yu-Gi-Oh!, like I showed y'all, I'm like, bro, they have every single card from the Duel Monsters era, they have re-released and made about 65 fusions out of them because of nostalgia. If I was to tell you some of the new mechanics for Yu-Gi-Oh!, you'd be like, I don't know what you're talking about.
You know what it is? You know, when you got that hand soap and you get to that very end, but you're so lazy you don't want to go to the store and buy a new one. You just start pouring water in it, and it just gets watered down, watered down, watered down. And that's what some of these properties have become. It's like, you know, like Dragon Ball, like it's not even for the story no more.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like, oh, but it's canon now. Is it?
Yeah.
Is it?
That's how sloppy it was done.
These details say otherwise. Oh, but you can't. Like, yes, we can.
Yeah.
Yes, we can. Like, come on, bro. Like, and it's like, and I get it. You know, due to a particular death, you're trying to honor his work. Yes, there's ways to honor his work, but there's also ways to say like, nah. I mean, but I guess the way they look at it is it's a means to an end because he's already gone.
Mm-hmm.
But then but he still has successors who need to course correct.
Mm-hmm.
Like, no, like y'all should know the lore as well. Like, no, bro, he said this here, so we can't do this.
Yeah. Like, I was thinking about this because I knew we were going to talk about it tonight, and like you said, Tim, is like I didn't want to say it in a way that would seem disrespectful to Toriyama because obviously he passed and this was the last thing he's involved in. But like, I think, and maybe this is like a hot take, I don't know. Like, I think it's okay to critique someone who is not giving us the best version of themselves anymore, right? Yeah. So the person I thought of was Ridley Scott, right? The guy who directed Alien. After seeing Prometheus and seeing Alien Covenant, I kind of don't want to see him direct any more Aliens. No. I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah, because it's gotten past the point, bro. It really has. Like, to be honest, I'm kind of happy that Predator went back to formula in a way. Like, even the last movie, Prey, it had a Predator 2 Easter egg.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I enjoyed it. Like, it was a great movie.
Mm-hmm.
It was a great movie. And they said the best way to watch it is watch it with the, the Native American dialogue where they're speaking the language. And I was like, bro, like this was like that bear scene. That was very primal for me.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoyed that. I was like, wait, that's justice for Leonardo DiCaprio. But
got it back in blood, literally.
It's the simple fact of the matter is like, like the Alien series is starting to become just very watered down. Like, and I get it. A lot of people enjoyed the last movie. Like, and that's why I said I gave it 2 reviews. Like, if I was just a person that I just wanted to go to the movies to watch something, yeah, I gave it a solid 7.
Mm-hmm.
But as a connection with the story, the actual long-term story, I gave it a 4.
It's The Force Awakens all over again.
Yeah.
Here's the same plot points in HD, pretty much.
Yeah. and that's the thing we're seeing, man, where these properties are going like super Hollywood. Cause like, to be honest, I'll be honest with people. I'm scared for Andor season 2 because the way Disney is handling these properties now, like Andor season 1 did pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, Rogue One was technically like the last movie before the Disney takeover.
Mm-hmm.
But like Disney has been handling these Star Wars properties ragged. Like it's just It's like it's the ultimate nostalgia bait, but then to fall flat.
The fact that there's a greenlit Mandalorian and Grogu movie, I'm like, we do not need them to have a movie. I promise you, we don't.
To be honest, season 3 only needed one more episode, and y'all could have just ended it there.
High key.
Yeah, like because I really enjoyed season 3. Like I enjoyed how he.
Spoiler warning.
Whatever. But yeah, whatever. All right, we'll get back on topic. It's just the simple fact of the matter is like the way how these properties are becoming super Hollywood to generate income is weighing on them. It really is. Like I get it, to be honest, like I guess Super was like the revival of Dragon Ball because, after Z and GT, they was giving us Kai back and forth. Oh, Dragon Ball Z Kai is back on 290. I'm like, for the third time?
Right. Random specials that maybe you did or did not tie in. Hey, Vegeta has a brother, but we'll never see him again. Oh, okay. Well, all right.
Like, for example, because, bro, I'll be honest with you, I did not like the Kai's dub. I did not like the music. The music was just very...
I like some of it.
No, nobody beats Bruce Falconer, man.
I like some of it.
No.
Nobody beats Bruce Falconer, man.
Exactly, bro. I was like, nah.
I'm not saying it beats Vegeta's theme song or Perfect Cell's theme song from Bruce Falconer, but I like some of Kai's music. I'm sorry.
No, bro. I mean, all right, we'll get back on topic, but it's just like, yeah.
I was still on topic of like,
I mean, like the Hollywood stuff, man. Like, I just don't like it. I don't like it. But you could tell, like, we're at that crossroads where we really have to ask ourselves, is it for us anymore? And I think that's the humbling factor we're starting to wake up to. It's not.
Yeah.
Like, yes, they're using us as the bait or I would say the gatekeepers to introduce it to other people. But I do feel like it's no longer for us. Like, and a prime example would be Mortal Kombat. I don't think these new Mortal Kombats are for us. They're not.
I would give a little bit of pushback on that only because the guest characters are only for our era.
Honestly, and the reason why I said that, bro, because this new movie that's coming out, I'm like, Only Carl Urban is love him, great actor, but Johnny Cage too old. He's too old.
Johnny Cage,
he's too old. First
That's
of all,
my dog, man. You're a great butcher.
Of a COVID budget. I was like, bro, there's no Shang Tsung's island. We're in the middle of some little desert.
Number one, who is Shang Tsung?
The guy from Dark Knight Rises.
But exactly. You can't pick.
Yanked up and take
one big pot.
But then you got the Japanese guy from Godzilla, who probably would have did a much better job. And then you show Melina before Katana.
Yep.
And then you just throwing Raiko out there. Yeah. It's like, and then Cabal just shows up because.
Yep. And he's already damaged and had, okay. Like, I think to tie it all together, like, I do think you're right, Tim, of like, I think what's happening for us is we're in a unique place as a generation because typically, like, even our parents' generation, right? Like, I'd say their biggest tie was music, right? Like all my mom's favorite songs from the 70s have been sampled in all my favorite rap songs. All of them. Every single last one to the strings of the guitar, right? But that's like, it's like, sometimes they'll keep the hook or it's like a homage to what came before it. I feel like with some of this modern stuff, it's just like you said, if it's there, if we want to enjoy it, but it's not really like the things that made it interesting is not for us. Like even with the Yu-Gi-Oh example, it's like, yeah, I think it's cool that they decided to make a Blue Eyes Jet Dragon, but I also understand why Jory thought it was the most ridiculous thing he's ever seen because it does look ridiculous. So like, how do we get from this simple named, awesomely designed creature to we made a card out of Kaiba's jet that's designed after the Blue Eyes? Like that's where we're at. Yugi's Dark Magician has fused with every single mainstream monster in his deck already.
And then, and you already know Konami is watching the Pokemon company like crazy.
Oh,
bro.
Absolutely. They just dropped the earliest collection.
Because you know it's coming. It's coming.
They already dropped they literally last week they released an early days collection that gets I think like 90% of the Yu-Gi-Oh games that are on Game Boy Color and Game Boy Advance. and put them in one collection. Because it's just like, I'm gonna resell you your childhood and resell you your childhood and resell your childhood. It's like, I mean, I'm glad I don't have to like use an emulator if I wanted to play these games. Yeah, Duel of Roses, but I'm also like, but this is not what I meant when I want like a nostalgic single player experience. I don't want you to resell me my childhood. I wanted a new single player experience.
As I says, Rank would say, why would we give you what you want?
Yeah, man. It's I guess like the thing, I guess in closing for this and probably the pod in general is like, is there, knowing what we know about, like, again, like some of our favorite things kind of walking away from us, is it something that you guys decide you want to cling on to further? Are there new things that are kind of catching your eyes and interests? Like, what is it that
retirement for me?
But you're not gonna retire from entertainment.
When I say retirement, bro, like I meant that like in a detached way. There are certain things that I will enjoy, like my backlog. But then it's just like almost like fish and catch and release. There's just certain things that I will not, like, I know for, especially in my adult mind, do I really want to invest into this? And I'll take an honest look at it and say yes or no. And the way how these things are moving in this world, a lot of them is a no. Because I know, like, why would I spend my dollars on this? Because I know I'm just going to be complaining about the product.
Yeah.
Why would I just want to blindly follow you because of nostalgia?
Yeah. We're also the generation that I think has been hit the hardest with nostalgia. We've literally been resold our entire childhood at least twice.
Bro.
Before 40.
Bro, like I said, man, there's these Hollywood versions of the shows that we love. It's like, when you see a reboot coming your way, bro, you gotta be scared.
Yeah. There's the anticipation aspect of like, oh, maybe they're gonna like flesh out some things. Like, no, they probably won't.
No.
They probably won't. There'll be certain little tidbits here and there, but it'll more than likely be worse, to be honest. I don't know if you guys saw that somebody leaked the CW version of the Powerpuff Girls that got canceled. Have you guys seen that trailer?
Dog.
I did.
Yeah.
Professor Plutonium was homeboy from Clueless and Scrubs.
Yeah. Well, first of all, the CW, that was a ultimate red flag itself. I feel like the CW just needs to close down. You had a good run, but
well, I mean, it got canceled, so it's not like it's something that was coming out. And they saw the headlights already.
And it goes back to what I said, bro. Like, if you don't really have that insane budget, you just gotta respect the art style of things. Not everything needs a live action. I'm sorry. It just doesn't. That is and I think that is what the real beauty of animation or anime lies on certain things. It's like you're able to do something that you wouldn't be able to do. Because, like, for example, bro, the One Piece anime, like, I don't expect them to go past Crocodile.
For the live action?
Yeah, it's like, bro, like, after that, it's like, bro, you are entering a whole different world.
Yeah, I don't want to see them do CP9 arc, to be honest with you. Please don't.
Yeah, bro, because we about to get sci-fi looking Zoans.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, they were already pushing it with Arlong. That costume, I was like,
well, you want a giraffe with swords? Okay.
Exactly. A half leopard man who can moonwalk through the air.
And you guys ain't spending that Pirates of the Caribbean budget. Keep it on the shelf.
Yes.
In the back.
Yep. Let him be Crocodile this season. And Luffy went on to go through many more adventures that you can catch through the anime. Perfect.
Dum, 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 dum.
I mean, yeah, because bro, like boys in the hood are long. I mean,
it was funny.
It was funny.
We got our jokes off. The way Zoro was coming through those black fishmen was funny. It was. I laughed.
Or even the dialogue from Arlong. So like, so you got a problem with Arlong Park? Arlong 2 Park too good for you?
Mm-hmm. They knew what they were doing.
You people?
Yeah.
People.
The showrunners know what they're doing. They've seen the memes.
And the theme music, bro. It was hard. The theme
Yeah.
music was hard, but I was
Yeah.
like, bro, I see where you're going.
Yeah.
I see exactly where you're
Yeah,
going.
we said when we broke it down in our review, like I was pleasantly surprised for the most part. Not everything worked, but a lot more work than I thought would work.
Yeah, because
but
Captain Kuro, that was like
fumble, and it should have been easy.
I was like,
it should have been easy. Like, how do you ruin Captain Kuro? It's simple. It's so simple, and this is what y'all do. All right, I guess.
Yeah, man.
Jory, any thoughts on letting go of your childhood favorites?
Oh yeah, man. I sent you that. You already know how I feel when you sent me that Dragon Ball Z picture of Goku, Vegeta, walking like it's Run DMC album cover number 4. Ultraviolet Vegeta, whatever. Beast Gohan.
The color palette
Piccolo.
spread.
Yeah, once I saw that, man, I said, yo, I'm starting to hate Dragon Ball Z.
No, honestly, the turning point for Dragon Ball for me was when Heroes came out, man. Because that's the madness where I see that there's an ahead.
But the thing is, Heroes Place was already announced to us. This is just, fan fiction, but people were taking this thing
like
as
Marvel What If times 1,000.
Yeah, so it never really bothered me. It was just things nice to see.
It's the dollars, bro, and that's what I was scared about. That means they are about to sell you every color palette known to man.
Yeah, and that's what I said to that one commenter who was mad that you called Diamond a waste. I said, I understand you feel the way you feel about Toriyama's works.
Hey, I retaliated, but
I understand you feel that way, but I'm like, also at the same time, it's like we don't want it to become Dragon Ball Heroes. I think that's a fair thing. We don't want it to become a color palette show.
This should have been a Janemba story, bro. Like this, there a lot of stuff that they were building up to, like. And first of all, you're trying to cram too much. I was like, oh, everybody's from the demon world now. I was like, no, bro, calm down. If you want to tell a story, do it the correct way. Like everything was too crammed up, bro. It was too crammed up, and it had great animation, and I'm not taking that away. But bro, y'all got to realize this story was garbage.
The environment, the location was garbage. You can't give me an adventure and the place that I'm supposed to have an adventure in has no personality. You did not correct what you messed up on GT.
Fair point.
Yeah.
One Piece works because the world is alive without any of the characters.
That's a fair, strong point.
Yeah.
So when I'm watching Daima, I'm like, okay, so Tamagotchi, like the Tamagotchi, look at the world, look at how bland it is. The people, what do they do here? They're just here. And I'm like, okay, so the boar wanted to be king of this? Like, what?
Right.
What king of, like, and then like the resolve was like, well, everybody's okay at the end. Okay. You did all that for no reason. Like,
we wrap this up or we'll never reference these characters ever again.
Why'd you get the third eye? And you did nothing but make an arena to get beat up in. You did nothing. You didn't challenge any foes. You just got the third eye and all right, let's fight. Let me get swole.
Like I said, it was for likes and reels. That's all it was.
That's it. No, and
that's the Hollywood aspect that I'm talking about, bro. Like the substance is has shifted, I would say. I'm not going to say gone because I get it. That's subjective. Many people have different versions of substance, but like it's shifted. It shifted from what it was, and that's why I tell people, bro. Like, what Jory said to me, like, Dragon Ball, if they really want to do it right, it deserves a reboot. And that idea was starting to really click on me, bro, because I was really looking back, like old school Dragon Ball, or even when we did our DBZ dive, it's like, bro, like there was a lot of potential here that just got fumbled. Like even when you look at, the pre-scripts of the Tree of Might, as like, yes, bro, Turles is Goku's twin brother. None of that old Saiyans with who are low class have similar fit. Like, no,
they all look the same. Like,
it's his brother.
What?
It's his brother, because that explains the whole connection in this movie. How does he know about him? Why? Oh yeah, he's on Earth.
And you don't.
And then you have this uncle nephew moment with Gohan. Like, look, just read, boy, read. Like, come on, bro.
And you don't get rid of characters like that. That's one thing I always admired about uh DC, or when we would watch Justice League. You know, some of the villains, them returning and they coming back and yo, you was a C-level villain and yo, now you wreaking havoc.
Yeah, look at the
Bro.
Justice League storyline with Amazo. By the time he came back that third time, he was terrifying.
He was cosmic. He was cosmic, bro.
Dog,
He was
yo, I
cosmic.
mean, one of the craziest lines I heard from him when he said, "Wow, you figured out to create a molecular compound structure that would have worked a week ago when I was still nanotech." I paused. Listen, I fell out my chair on Toonami. I said, "Who's writing this?"
Yeah.
Bro, like
When he
even the quirkier stuff, bro. Like in One Piece, you find out the one who kicked out Blackbeard's teeth was Buggy. During the fight where it was the Roger Pirates versus the Whitebeard Pirates, like you see Shanks and I guess because remember they did say it was Blackbeard who gave Shanks the scars, so that's where he gets it. It's like it was from that fight, and you realize in the midst of their battle, it was Buggy the Clown who kicked Blackbeard in the mouth. I was like, and just when and it matches Buggy's character. It's
It
like
does.
he's like, sleep on me as long as you want. But guess what? I'm still that dude.
Right. If I'm not the great, I'm surrounded by greats. Like who else could partner up with Mihawk and Crocodile but me?
And then still get away
and still get and still get put on the poster. You know, like
that's a funny gag, dog.
And then it was so funny that in the manga chapters, there was a manga chapter where it was Shanks, Blackbeard, Buggy, and Luffy on it. And it was like a foreshadowing of where they are now.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, bro, I did not see that coming.
I was going to say, I think the thing with us, like, when it comes to our critiques, especially of things that we've been watching and enjoying for a long time, I don't think we ask from that series anything that it hasn't given us already. Like I think when we're like, okay, these ties into Dragon Ball, the story, these ties into certain characters, like I'm not asking for something that I know you can't do. I'm asking you because that's what got me hooked on you in the first place. It's all there. I've seen you do it over and over and over again. And now you're just, like you said, like Tim, you're trading it for the Hollywood. You're trading it for the bright lights and flashy things, which again, some people just want to, people who come to a certain property to just be able to relax and turn their brain off. That's fine, right? We all have our guilty pleasures. We all have shows where I'm like, listen, I know what I'm getting isn't the greatest, but it's entertaining. Like some of the reality shows I watch with my girl, I'm like, this, I would never watch this of my own free will, but I'm enjoying this, time watching these people act out. You know what I'm saying? Like I get that principle, but like,
what you call it? Aaron the plumber.
But like when we see certain things of like, again, I'm not saying that Dragon Ball needs to set the writing world on fire, but it's just like, yo, just if you're gonna introduce it, just see it through. That's all. If you're gonna introduce this third eye that apparently can heal him from any injury, at least tell me why. Why.
And then there's a whole bunch of them. Towards the end, you find out that it's not really all that special.
Which is Toriyama. It's Toriyama. It's Toriyama. Since I was more fine with that than I was with it not getting explained at all. Like I don't mind it being one of many, but I do mind it being something where I'm like, what? Is there any drawbacks to keeping this eye in? It doesn't seem like it. It seems like you want to have it in 24/7. I can't die. I can't lose.
And all you got to do is pop, pop.
Right.
And it gets, y'all, like,
it's just like, that's all I'm saying. It's like, I don't think that it's a crime to want the series that gave you something to still give it to you. But, I think that's the takeaway of like, at a certain point, it's like, even though I'm back into collecting Yu-Gi-Oh cards, they might drop, the Blue Eyes Range Rover. I'm like, all right, I'm off this again. Like I'm off. I can't.
Fam,
I can't.
Hey, when I found out there was moving in 5D, like what is that? On a bike and dueling? Gentlemen, I timed out. Once they had a Harry Potter School of Duelists, I timed out. The main character's name is Jaden Yuki.
And would you believe me when I tell you that it actually gets more ridiculous after 5Ds?
No, what could be after 5D? No.
They have
Remember the Seal of
one.
Your Locus arc? Dog.
Yeah, they have the series that came after that. I think it's called Yu-Gi-Oh! Arc 5. And in that, there exists 5 different dueling dimensions. One that focuses on fusions, ones that focuses on regular summoning, ones that focusing on tuning from 5Ds, and one that focuses on something called pendulum summoning. So the main character has 4 other doppelgangers. And so do his friends from different universes. Right. Exactly.
Foolish.
They had a Yu-Gi-Oh show. I think the most one. What was it called? It was called like Yu-Gi-Oh something. I think it went off air like a couple years ago. The entire premise of the story took place in space, literal space. You know, so like I'm like in comparison, I'm like, you know what? Diamond is not seeming that bad in retrospect. Like, if that's what they're doing with Yu-Gi-Oh, they're in space now. Okay, there's literal aliens dueling monsters. Okay, you know, all right,
Yeah.
all right. But that brings us to an end of another Press Start Select podcast episode. For everyone who's made it to this point, once again, we can't do it without y'all support. Every like, view, click, comment, subscription helps us and lets us get closer to what we want to do. Like what I've said before, we do have some other stuff in the works. We're trying to get the streaming thing down to a regular routine. You know, it's as hard as adults. That's just us being transparent. It's hard getting a consistent schedule when it comes to some of these things right now. But again, appreciate the support, appreciate the increase in subscription count. Appreciate the people who disagree with us, right? The people who watch the video and be like, you know what? I'm going to type a paragraph. Appreciate y'all.
Hey, yeah, thank you indeed.
Appreciate
real,
y'all. You know, we don't need people just, you know, like it's okay to give us a little pushback. It's all right. We're cool with that. But this is Antonius DaGamer, Mykale Smith, Super SSS rank. Till next time, peace.
All right.